This right here is a petrol-burning GLC 63S made by Mercedes, and it costs a grand total of 220k. And this is my Tesla Model Y. It's silent, so it doesn't make the intro as impactful. But I could buy 3 Model Ys just like this one, and it still wouldn't cost as much as one of these. However, money aside, which one would I actually want to drive? So there is quite a lot going on in this interior. Obviously, it's packed full of luxurious materials. Apart from there being buttons everywhere, there's two things that stand out to me right away. One is that the AC vents are quite prominent. Now, in a Tesla, they actually hide the air conditioning vent within the dash. So I'm noticing just how much space they're taking up, prime position space they're taking up in the cabin here in the Mercedes. And then the more important thing is just the reduced screen size. So this is a touchscreen, but it's not nearly as fluid and responsive as what you get in the Tesla. And it's obviously much, much smaller, and it has this whopping fat bezel around it. So that doesn't really make sense to me. Why can't they include a higher end touchscreen in a car of this price? What I would say is very, very nice. The display behind the steering wheel, it's integrated really nicely, and it is a beautiful looking display with lovely graphics on it. You can change that based on your preference. The steering wheel, again, there's a lot going on, too much, I would argue. But yeah, I think most people would get in this car and notice how premium and luxurious it feels. Apart from those AC vents, they need to sort them out. And it doesn't have a screen in the back. Getting in the Tesla, it's like night and day. It couldn't be more different. It is so minimal and simple. There's no buttons apart from two very simple ones on the steering wheel. Everything else is stripped right back. Now, obviously part of that from Tesla's point of view is cost cutting, but they've done it in a way that is just so different and refreshing. I can't imagine going back to anything else that was more cluttered than this. Now, it helps by the fact that you've got this beautiful big touchscreen that's so responsive and has so much software packed into it. So you never really feel like you're lacking in anything. In fact, just driving the Mercedes now, I feel like this has so much more in it. But then people do have concerns, like my mum, for example, where everything's on the touchscreen. They kind of don't want to be looking down and not feeling any buttons and having to think about what glasses to wear. So it's obviously not for everyone, but I do think, even in mum's case, the more you just drive the car, the more you get used to it and you start to kind of learn this new way of interacting with the vehicle. Things like voice commands will get better. XAI is working on a Grok app for the car, according to Elon. So being able to speak to the car and it's a proper AI assistant that can do some pretty mind-blowing stuff. That will be awesome. But even as it stands now, 100% I would take this interior over the Mercedes. When it comes to the driving, the first thing I notice is, apart from the petrol engine burning under the hood, is the smaller windscreen. The visibility is not quite as good out of this car, but the suspension is so much nicer. Changing between all the modes is interesting. It's got a lot of power. It's not as instant as the Model Y, but geez, it's got some real pull to it. Turning circle feels better. Steering feels nicer. There's a heads-up display, which is giving me my speed and the current speed zone. That's nice, although I would argue not needed. If I had to pay extra for something like that in the Tesla, I wouldn't. And the steering wheel with these mixed materials does feel pretty premium. You've got like suede mixed with leather. Part of the reason that we loved the Tesla in the first place was because it's all animal-free, and Paige and I are both vegan, so we love that the Tesla is fully vegan. This is definitely not. I kind of feel guilty that I'm burning petrol too. And I miss my one-pedal driving. I mean, most people would call me a twat for saying this, but that was not an enjoyable experience. Not once you're used to the quietness, the smoothness of the Tesla. That being said, as I stated, steering, suspension, materials, heads-up display, all of those extra things absolutely win in this car. I think these seats are more comfortable than the Y as well. Also, really quickly, when it comes to the looks of both of these cars, I think the Merc looks better from the front than the Tesla does, and I think the Tesla looks better from the rear than the Merc does. And they're both very similar sized and shaped cars. And as much as I love the wheels on our Model Y, I think the Merc wheels are slightly nicer. Now, the really interesting thing will be when Tesla releases the update to the Model Y, which will hopefully have all of the same stuff that the new Model 3 has. It makes it even harder to justify spending more money on a car like this when Teslas are meeting so much of that criteria. Much better suspension, more comfortable seats with ventilation, ambient lighting, rear screen in the back. Like, there's a whole list of things that you can now check off with the new Model 3. And so I'm looking forward to them hopefully bringing that to the Model Y soon. Also, this is a very small sunroof that you get in the Merc versus the massive glass roof you get in the Tesla. However, you can't open the glass roof in the Tesla. At this point, if you're a Mercedes fan, you've probably stopped watching, but I did briefly just want to talk about safety. The Model Y is the safest car on the road right now. And so I really wouldn't want to put my family in another car other than a Tesla. I literally just used Siri to unlock the car. Love that. So when it comes to features, I think hands down the Tesla wins out with the software integration and Sentry mode and dash cams that are built in all around the car and dog mode and, you know, even just the app itself. The Mercedes app is not bad, but you still can't do the level of stuff that you can do on the Tesla app. And then when it comes to refueling, you actually have to drive that thing to a smelly petrol station and pay all this money to fill up, when you can conveniently charge something like this at home. You plug it in, that's it, it's done. So there's a massive difference that I think people are just starting to realize. The commentary so far has been, oh my God, they take so long to charge. I feel like people are starting to realize just how amazing it is to never have to go to a petrol station and just plug in at home. Yes, if you do a road trip, you have to go and charge the car at a fast charger, but even that is not that bad. I mean, that's something we enjoy doing. You drive for 2 hours and you want to break anyway, charges up in 15, 20 minutes, you grab a snack, stretch your legs, go to the bathroom, and you're back on the road. So we actually really enjoy that part of road tripping in this car, not to mention how much money you save. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. I've just noticed there's some oil stains on the tennis court thanks to this car, so I'll get onto that and I'll catch you soon in another video. Shit.